playoff series don't start till somebody wins a road game. Well, we won 2.
Haliburton, 2 on the clock. Got it! Haliburton trying to take Cleveland's heart in a Game 2 stunner.
Sorry, boy.
Being down 2-0, losing both on your home court, they're going to come to play desperate.
It's tough losing like that, but we got to go get 2 in Indy. We ain't got no choice.
Here comes Mitchell! Donovan Mitchell has exploded!
Hey, that ain't going to be the last one!
Yes, some things don't leave you fully.
The next game, they're going to come out even harder.
We've been playing through every single adversity, which is just time for us to find a way to win.
Come on, we good.
This is the best team in our conference. They don't lose a ton. They're going to respond.
Coming to you from the Hoosier state of Indiana, we are live from Gainbridge Fieldhouse, where the Pacers find themselves in the driver's seat, up 2-0 against the top-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers. Fresh off yet another game-winning bucket, does Tyrese Haliburton have more heartbreak in store for the Cavs, or will Donovan Mitchell and company channel some Cleveland comeback magic in Game 3? Hi, everybody. Welcome into Hoop Streams, presented by DoorDash. I'm Vanessa Richardson. This is former New York Knick, bona fide NBA champion with the Cleveland Cavaliers, Iman Shumpert. And look, you're not a rookie. I'm not a rookie when it comes to reporting in the NBA, but we are rookies for Hoop Streams. This is our first show. Yay!
First time.
Let's go. How you feeling?
First time, and it's a good game to watch. I think that right now Haliburton has made it a stage.
Yes.
And I'm excited about it. So let's see what's going on tonight.
Can we talk about some breaking news?
Yes, we can.
This is from ESPN's Shams Charania. Just got in. This just in. You even adjusted the glasses.
Yep.
You look very official. All 3 injured Cleveland Cavaliers, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and DeAndre Hunter, will return tonight. It goes without saying that this is huge, but Iman, how does this impact this game immediately?
Well, immediately it goes to that matchup with Darius Garland being able to finally put pressure on Haliburton on the other side. I think Haliburton has got to do some things that normally you have Darius Garland, who takes pressure off of Donovan Mitchell, and you see a different dynamic out of those two. I think that dynamic comes back, and we get to see what adjustments Indiana will have to make.
Now, nevertheless, this Cavs team is down 0-2, but there's a Cavs team in history that has come from behind before. Yeah. Iman, you've played in 79 career playoff games. On that 2016 Cavs team, came back from that 3-1 NBA Finals deficit to defeat the Warriors. What type of emotions is this team feeling? And I want to know also what Ty Lue and LeBron James, like, take yourself back. What were they saying when you guys were down that motivated you to know that you could still get it?
Just being in that locker room, I think it kind of works out when you got a bunch of people that write you out on the outside. They kind of write you off. And when you have that, you watch the locker room come together. A lot of times you see a locker room fall apart. You see guys get discouraged. But sometimes in these positions, especially when you're down 2 and you're going on the road, it can inspire some guys and it can inspire a team to get together. Hopefully it does the right side of those things for them.
Yeah. All right, let's play a game we like to call News and Notes. All playoff series have 2 games in the can. So the wildest story of the playoffs, the road teams, Iman, are now 6-2 in the second round. Knicks, Pacers, Warriors, Nuggets. So Shump, news or notes, all 4 lower seeds will advance to the conference finals. Ooh, he's thinking.
Noise.
He's thinking. You said what?
Noise.
News or noise, okay. Is Boston buried? Despite being down 2-0, Vegas has not lost faith in the Celtics. It's plus 100 to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. Shump, Boston will climb out of the 0-2 hole and reach the Eastern Conference Finals. News or noise?
You know,
this is a big one.
My basketball education wants to say that they'll climb out of there, but there's some about the Knicks and the way they have figured out something to do at the end of every game. They have figured something out. I hope they do win, but my mind definitely tells me Boston comes back. They play well. They push this out to a good 6-7 series. All
right, last one. Tyrese Haliburton is the most clutch player remaining in the 2025 NBA playoffs. News or noise? And don't forget, Iman, he was voted the most overrated player by his peers through the regular season in that anonymous survey that caused a lot of noise itself.
Yeah. I don't know. He's a big-time player, and he's marked himself in these playoffs. So we definitely want to see the truth out of him tonight. But I don't know. I think that's noise that he was brought up as an underrated player. I think he's got all the tools and capabilities. I just think he marked himself.
All right, tell me how you think that motivated him. Because when you have an anonymous survey that comes out that is allegedly from your NBA peers that says that you are the most overrated player, that has to motivate you a little bit.
I think it motivates people, but people kind of forget how when you're in the NBA and you deal with this, a lot of times that's all noise because we rarely know who exactly. There's not a person that's going to come to the forefront and really own that. They're just sort of going to sit behind the scenes and talk about it. But we've heard everything from the clutch player, sportsmanship player. They give all type of stuff that they write up during the season. You got to sort of just block all that out and play. But I just don't think he's an overrated guy. What
has impressed you about that poise that he's able to show in these clutch situations when everything's on the line?
I just like the fact that he's not scared of the moment.
Right.
Again, because I played for Cleveland, I ain't gonna lie. Tyrese, I didn't like it. I didn't like it because I played for Cleveland. If I was on your team, I would love it. So, again, I think that when you do that, it rolls you into some confidence. I love how loose he's playing, his ability to create step backs, create space at all times. Right now, his eyes are big, and he sees downhill. He sees all the different cool tricks he could do in the paint. When you have a guy like that, I expect Cleveland to pick him up early, apply some pressure. Let's cut down the shot clock and make sure that they don't get the shots that they want.
Somebody that I think could be a difference maker tonight, Miles Turner.
Oh, yeah. Miles, I think, again, when you have Haliburton doing all that, he's knifing through things, he's surveying, he's probing on the baseline. When he's doing those things, he's not doing anything but making Miles Turner's game easier. When you make the game easier for somebody like Miles Turner, somebody that's been through the playoffs, got plenty of games under his belt, played in Indiana the whole time, up for a contract, everything's going well.
High character guy.
Yeah, everything's going well for him if he gets a good go at it early on in this arena. So I think that we should look for him to get involved playing off of Haliburton right now. Because, again, you are a mark. You wanted the show. The show here. The show is here. You really wanted it. It's here now. I want to see it. I love when players do that, though, because you got to have the other side of it. It's either it's going to be a bust or it's going to be the biggest moment. And he's creating moments right now. That's what the playoffs is about.
All right, we got to talk about Spida's poster dunk in Game 2. And you're somebody.
I love it.
You know
it was the same pose.
What did you think of it? What did you think?
I love it. I think that Donovan is one of those players that if he gets to that launch pad, you're in trouble. I was also one of those guys that felt like if I could get a 2-foot planted in the lane, I'm going to try and climb however high I got to go.
All right, who did it better? You know I got to ask you who did it better.
We're going to cue mine up.
2013
we're going to cue mine up.
I think Game 2, baby.
You see, Donovan got the dribble, think about it, line it up. I didn't know how it was going to come off, but I just love that it's reminiscent of the same pose, and I love that with a different uniform that I also got to wear. So shout out to Donovan Mitchell for recreating that and adding a face to it, because I feel like that's more of a poster, man. I don't know.
But your face after is so classic.
I hate that I just noticed that was you. I'm so sorry. I just noticed who that was.
Wait, who was it?
Siakam. Oh, no, not a champion in there.
Oh, my
God. It's okay, though. Watch your head. Spider Mitchell, again, can turn it on in a lot of different ways. We saw that from him when he was playing over there in Utah. He's one of those guys that we've been waiting to have a supporting cast. He now has one. They have the best record coming in. I expect big plays and big moments out of him. I just expect at the end of the game for them to figure out what they're going to do, because at the end of the playoffs, you have to figure out what's your go-to. We know exactly what you're going to do. You're going to do it, and we can't stop it. That's playoff basketball. So until you can unlock that on the other side, I don't know how far you can go.
It's not the only thing that has talking after Game 2. Your guy, J.R. Smith, take it away.
No. Oh, my God. I see y'all saying TV. Oh, my God.
feeling it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. JR, huge Knicks fan.
Yeah.
Even growing up, I remember when JR first came over, came back from China. I got the pleasure of getting to know him. Also driving him around because he couldn't drive for a while, so it was my rookie duty. Been around him, always been a great guy, very supportive on and off the court, family guy. To see him in that clip, I mean, that pretty much sums JR up. His excitement, the reminiscence of seeing a little kid light up. JR is one of those guys that makes things really exciting.
And always one of the best personalities in the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so the Knicks and Celtics have only met 3 times over the past 35 years. Let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? All right, the Celtics' big 3 in 2011, Paul Pierce, KG, Ray Allen, y'all know the squad, squared off against the Melo-led Knicks. This 3-6 matchup with Doc Rivers and Mike D'Antoni on the sidelines saw 2 nail-biting wins by Boston. Despite great efforts from Carmelo, who had 30 points in Game 2 and over 40 in Game 4, the Celtics would complete the sweep and advance to play LeBron and the Heatles in the Eastern Conference Finals. All right, 2 years later, the Knicks got their revenge. With our guy Iman wearing the blue and orange. It was a totally revamped squad of Melo, JR, J. Kidd, Tyson, and Shump. The Knicks handled that business as the 2 seed, eliminating the Celtics in 6 games and putting an official end to the Big 3 era in Beantown. That marked New York's first postseason series win. At that point in over a decade, that's our young man, and that's that young man. Hey, I cover old Jeff Green. That's young Jeff Green. All right, 2025, over a decade later, brings us to today. Jason Tatum and the defending champions swept the regular season series 3-0, entered round 2 as heavy favorites. But Big Body Bronson, as Perk says, and the Knicks stole an OT thriller in Game 1, then clawed back from a 20-point deficit to capture Game 2, capped by the incredible defensive efforts from Mikal Bridges. Oh yeah, he was worth the picks, shifting all the pressure to Boston. Time now for Game Changers, presented by our friends at Cheez-It. Okay, Shump, give us your game changer from the Knicks Celtics.
Oh, it's without a doubt Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson has time and time again figured out how to win down the stretch, figure out how to probe and do whatever he has to do to make sure they get the best possible shot each possession in the fourth. Seeing him do that, I got to give it to him, even though I said what I said about him and Cat's pick and roll.
I was shocked by the Cat trade. How has Jalen Brunson influenced the way that Cat plays?
I think that the most impressive thing about them is that they don't try and force it.
Right.
I think that Cat has done an incredible job saying, you know, Jalen, this is kind of your show, and I'm going to add to whatever you have going on. I like that dynamic just because it creates something where there's no jealousy on their part. They don't really care down the stretch who got it going. They'll pass it back and forth.
That's selfless.
And I love that. When you're playing against 2 guys like that, a lot of times you try and get them to get issues between each other and say, you haven't gotten any shots in a while, you haven't gotten any shots in a while, to get somebody influenced into a bad shot. But I like their relationship, and I like Jalen Brunson's patience. He has impressed me far more than I thought he would with this team that he has behind him, especially at the end of the game every time. It's been consistent. It's been
in those
creative.
Big moments. Yeah.
Very creative.
100%. All right, another game changer. All right, I'm usually, you know me, I'm usually not the let's talk about the crowd.
Yeah.
But this is MSG. All right, so I want to hear you talk about playing at MSG at Madison Square Garden, the most legendary venue in the world.
Yeah.
Does that affect the series? And then the other thing, too, is like TD Garden is no joke. This might be the matchup with the most intense atmospheres.
Oh, yeah. When you got to play in TD Garden, forget about it hearing yourself.
Oh, my gosh. When I report I cannot hear at all.
Yeah, you can't. Like, luckily we got the earpieces, but the earpieces don't even work well if you're in the TD Garden. It's going to be up. But as I say that, it's not going to be nothing like when you get to New York and everybody going to be jumping around doing this right here. You can't give New York a reason to think they going to win, because this is what New York's going to do. They going to stand up. The arena's going to shake. You're not going to hear the call-outs. Right. I'm nervous for the Celtics in this situation. I'm guessing that Jaylen Brown is going to say, take it personal and guard Jalen Brunson down the stretch. That might need to be the challenge that he needs to take. But as far as the crowd, when you get to TD Garden, it's crazy, but man, Madison Square. Y'all know what y'all do.
Oh
The Knicks State fans know what they do,
but
man.
that's the thing is that, like, when I'm doing sideline in Boston as well, I also can't hear myself. Madison, so these are two environments where, again, I usually don't say.
I don't know. It was kind of quiet on my way out of Boston that year. It
was it? Oh, now he's talking.
I'm just saying it was quiet that year we left.
Yeah,
so
it was.
I don't know how loud it gets anymore. But no, I'm glad.
Once a player, always a player.
Yeah,
they got to talk their trash. What do you need to see from Jason Tatum?
Jason Tatum needs to stay within how he plays. What I don't want to see from Jason Tatum tonight is I don't want to, as a fan, watch this game and feel like you've watched everybody on TV criticize how you play, and now you're going to invent a new guy that we've never seen.
Drown out the noise.
I really don't care what anybody on TV says they saw out of you. You play exactly how your team knows they need you to play. The firecracker on your team is Jaylen Brown. I think they need to stick to that and keep going on that tandem. Last year, we was trying to figure out who's Batman. This year, we got a problem with Jason Tatum. It's like, nah, they won. They the defending champions. Y'all need to come out here and get two on the road. But I just expect more out of Jaylen Brown's game than I do Jason Tatum. I don't feel like they play well when he forces it.
They also need to just make some threes. That's what they did all regular season.
If you're going to live, you're going to die, though.
Right, you got to live by it and you die by it.
If you're a fan and you like it when they scoring it, you got to like it when they missing it. That's just part of the game.
All right, let's talk about Ant-Man and the series against the Golden State Warriors. From the East to the Wild, Wild West, the Timberwolves tied the series. They took Game 2 in blowout fashion. And Anthony Edwards, he looked like he hurt his ankle. I mean, I think most people watching thought he's not coming back. They call him Wolverine for a reason. Came right back in and did great.
Hey, man, I just love Ant-Man's ability to continue to smile and genuinely make me feel like he's some young kid that just got here and is just so happy to be here. There's something about him that lights up. It makes you feel like you're still watching somebody in high school.
Yes.
And I love that about him, and that's proven through the way he is bouncing off the floor after every hit that comes his way. He gets back up, and he attacks the rim again. What was impressive was he hurt that ankle. They fell on it. I believe Braun fell on that same ankle from him, but he hurt that ankle, hurt it again, and to see him attack the rim and turn the corner the way he's turning the corner, he's trusting that ankle. And to see that, it'll got to make you smile if you're sitting on that same side.
All right, Steve Kerr played 14 different players in the first half. They obviously did not have Steph Curry on the Warriors. Offensively, what are they going to do?
That's what Steve Kerr is trying to do. I think he's playing so many players early on and toward the end just to see who is a guy that can get a rhythm the quickest. Who are the guys that can be slapped into a new lineup that they don't have a scouting report for.
Right.
A lot of times it's about finding a guy that can be a problem within the rotation just because you don't have a game plan for him and you didn't have enough time for him. You got to do that, and then you got to be able to hang your hat on Jimmy Butler can still play basketball. I know he might not be the guy that can get you 40 or 50 just because you haven't been grooming him for that in this position. But he's still a guy that can go out there and get you 30. He's still a guy that knows the rhythm and the beat of the game and knows how to say, this is a key moment, I'm going to score the next 8. We need to get them into a timeout. We need to get 3 stops. He's still Jimmy Butler. So I think it's time for him to turn it on and for everybody to trust him to turn it on. But as far as coming out here and getting a win.
Well, in that series against the Rockets, Quentin Post would get going, Brandon Pajemski would get going. So they do have different guys that can get going, but it just nothing was clicking, and we're not used to that with this Warriors team.
Yeah, but that's part of the game. When you're seeing this, injuries happen, and it's the one thing that we can't, you don't want to preset it or assume that something's going to happen. But you almost have to because playing extra, playing after the regular season, doing that to all the guys' bodies that haven't gone through
especially
the postseason.
With an older team.
Exactly. Or the guys that just haven't done it the year before. Like sometimes taking that time off and letting your body heal is the worst thing when you have to go out here and now extend your season longer the next year. Coming out here and doing that, you just expect guys to have a lot of wear and tear, and you got to roll with the punches. It's part of the game, and you got to expect guys to attack all the guys that are hurt. All the guys that are when Steph comes back, if they can extend it to Game 6, when he comes back on that leg, you got to expect them to drive that ball at whatever leg's got to be his power stop. And that's just the name of the game.
Well, prior to Game 6, when the Rockets played the Warriors, the news broke that Greg Popovich was stepping down as head coach. And it was kind of symbolic because you had Ime Udoka and Steve Kerr, who both are proteges of Pop and just have so much love and appreciation for him. So, of course, you know, that big news, he's going to be the team's president of basketball operations, so not quote-unquote retiring. What have your experiences been like with Greg Popovich? I know you never played for him, but obviously a lot of experiences with him on the sideline.
I never got to play for Pop, but I did go on the other side. During my draft workout, I got to sit down, do an interview, talk with him, pick his brain a little bit just as a basketball mind. I got to pay my respect to him. And then again, seeing him season in, season out, having to learn his system, having to learn the adjustments that he likes to make, seeing how he makes you confused when you got to read ball screens. He's just one of those guys that knows how to play the game within the game and get every team that plays for him to play similar.
That's right.
And that's a gift within itself. That says a lot about the respect because this is a players' league and always will be, but he's a players' coach.
You know what stood out to me when I asked both Steve Kerr and Ime Udoka is they barely talked about the impact he had on them as basketball players and coaches. They talked about the impact he had on them as a person.
As
that
a human
Spurs
being.
Culture that he created is very real.
Yes. I think it's cool because after every game he takes the time to talk about it. He takes time. He talks about things. He'll slow walk you through it. He'll cut the fat off the steak, like me and my father like to say. He cut the fat off the steak, and he's not going to let you get way too much information. We're going to talk direct. We're going to talk about what we need, and then we're going to get out there and play.
He did not.
The boos have started.
The boos have started.
The
and you know
boos
what?
have started.
Greg Popovich, it felt like sometimes was booing the media. He didn't necessarily love the in-game interviews. Here's the best of Pop.
Energy level's great. Worst shots in the history of basketball. Who's the one guy who has the third question, isn't it? We should just get two? My bad.
Next guy that misses a free throw, gonna buy me a new car.
What did you like about the way your team played?
The ball went in the hole.
What was your biggest challenge during this preseason?
Oh my gosh, getting to the restaurant on time.
They said explore your feelings at the end of the third quarter. So are you?
Yeah, it was always like must-see TV with Greg Popovich, especially when he was doing an interview with the late, great Craig Sager. All right, Donovan Mitchell, Cavs fans hoping for a very big game from him. We're here at the second round of the NBA playoffs. This is Hoop Streams, presented by DoorDash, and we are, of course, just minutes away from this massive Game 3 against the Cavaliers and the Indiana Pacers. And, you know, Tyrese Haliburton, how incredible he has been. It's time now for the player to watch. The player to watch, Dash Pass by DoorDash. Our player to watch is Tyrese Haliburton. Iman, why is that?
I could barely hear you. The lights done started.
Hey,
everything.
Why is Tyrese Haliburton the player to watch?
Oh, he's the player to watch because he has marked himself. In this league, it's all about moments. That gesture he did at the end, that's how you become a marked man. Tonight we will see, is that Haliburton or Halle Berry?
Jamal Collier covers the NBA for ESPN. Jamal, what do you expect to see from Tyrese? And just another question, the general buzz around this game.
Tyrese loves these moments.
Yes.
They called him overrated. They said overrate that. Coming back, home crowd. I mean, he's a guy who really, in those last fourth quarter, they turn to him, they trust him. You can see his teammates feed off his energy. And these two comebacks of 40 seconds, 8 points, hadn't been done in thousands of games, and they've done it twice in the last 3. I'm excited for this atmosphere tonight. It's going to be a good one.
I asked Iman this earlier, but how much do you guys think? Thank you. Oh my gosh,
I may put up a shot here.
If you go to my Instagram page, you'll see that I got hit in the head with a ball a couple weeks ago. So you guys might have just prevented a concussion. They're lifesavers too, ladies and gentlemen.
You might be the magnet.
Right, that's exactly right. Do you think that motivated him when he was called overrated and you heard the chants? I did just get hit by a ball.
You need somebody to watch your back. I think there's no question that he's fed off that energy. He feeds off the boos. He feeds off people doubting him. And you know, that is, I think, the Pacers didn't expect to be up 2-0 in this series coming back home. against the #1 seed. They got a lot of respect for this Cavs team. But, you know, they know that they could really seize control. You go 3-0, you know what that means.
It's tough. You don't want to cut the work out for yourself. That's the one thing you don't want to do as a player. You don't want to hand it to somebody. They know they got to come in here. If they want to come out here and put them down, this is a good game to have. On the other side, you got the Cavs. I know they're thinking, absolutely not. We got our guys back. It's loud, and we want it to be quiet in here. So.
All right. Everybody likes free food, right? If Haliburton or any player scores 50 points tonight, Dash Pass members get a free tender combo from Wingstop tomorrow on DoorDash. Terms apply. That sounds yummy. All right, the Cavs are down 2-0. They are without some key pieces. What are you hearing? We got the breaking news from Shams, but take us through that process of the Cavs determining that those three were good to go.
Yeah, all took the floor this morning for shoot-around. They all warmed up, feeling good. Kenny Atkinson, the Cavs coach, said he's going to be watching these guys, especially Darius Garland. He ain't played in about over 2 weeks now. It's about the second game of the first round. And you're talking about fast-paced games, offenses that go up and down the court. So they got to watch that toe for him because the Pacers are going to be attacking him. You figure going after him, making him work. But they need Evan Mobley to be big in this game because I feel like they need Mitchell. He put a lot on his shoulders in that game 2. They got to get some help for him on offense.
I was saying the same thing. I think that as much as Darius Garland's got to come in here and he's got to establish himself offensively, he also has to remember he doesn't have to be Superman in this. Right now, what he has to do is get Spider to the end of the game. Keep him within striking distance the whole time. At the end, you guys can make a push. But all game, I don't need him to do anything but keep the train on the track, so to speak. He doesn't need to try and go outside himself. Like you said, Evan should be able to step in, do a lot of great things for him out there. He continues to do that all year. I think they stand on it and they show why they were the top seed coming in.
All right, I've heard that playoffs are not only physical, but they are very mental. Mentally, what is the key for the Cavs tonight to come back from this deficit?
You got punched in the mouth. Now you got to come do it on the other side. Again, you got to test Haliburton, and while you're testing him out, you cannot let Miles Turner get comfortable.
What about you?
I mean, just a lot of different ways the Pacers are going to attack you. Haliburton loves getting everybody involved, but they did a good job on Haliburton for most of that game. He had 8 points going into the fourth quarter, 1 or 2 assists in the first half. They got to kind of keep that going. Deny him the ball. Don't let him sort of get grooving and get talking and getting this crowd involved in it.
They also got to make him defend.
And that's another big thing is get him out and working on both ends. Think who punches first, who gets out to get the crowd either behind them or who can sort of shut off the crowd here will be big for them here tonight.
Got to have that hit first, punch first mentality. It's going to be a good one. Thank you for watching Hoop Streams, presented by our friends at DoorDash. Thank you, Jamal. Thank you, Iman. This is going to be a great game. Make sure that you head over to ESPN.
It's getting loud.
It is loud in here. Game 3 of the Eastern Conference quarterfinals between the Cavs and the Indiana Pacers. Enjoy, everybody, and thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching, y'all.